I'm Neil and welcome to Dreaming of Chess Mastery, my YouTube channel that examines the world of adult chess improvement. I'm a fan of the writings of Jonathan Rowson. Chess for Zebras, incredible, and Seven Deadly Chess Sins is, I think, a must-read for all adult chess improvers. If you like books that are quite intellectual in sort of content and delivery and philosophical, because that's his writing style. The chess itself is ideas about chess and about how we learn and think are, I think, essential reading. Of course, it is built on the device of the seven deadly sins, or seven mortal sins. And it got me thinking, well, if we have the seven deadly chess sins, what about the three temptations of the adult chess improver? That seems to fit into the theme. And, well, of course, I'm not a particularly religious person, so I did need to look up, do a little bit of background research, what exactly the temptations were. I thought I remembered that, for want of glossing over the details, there's a bit where Jesus is tempted after his 40 days of fasting in the desert, and the devil tempts him to turn stones to bread and throw himself off the heights, and the people will catch him. And finally, he offers him, if only, I suppose it's the exchange of a soul, but does the Son of God have a soul? I'm not sure how all that works. But he offers him the kingdom of man and dominion over all of that. So there we go, the three temptations of Christ. And what might that be for us adult chess improvers? And who would play the role of the devil? And I think I'm going to begin with that last question, because it seems to me that the devil is within us. It's this internal monologue, and it's the self-sabotaging inner voice. So let's go with that for being the devil. It's a sort of our shadow self. And I think the first really obvious temptation as an adult chess improver, and it actually maps quite nicely onto the bread out of stones miracle. The first temptation is the panacea. Maybe panacea is the wrong word, but the universal chess opening. If you just learn how to play the London system, all your problems, chessically speaking, will be solved. For those of you who follow this, and I know one of you is out there and isn't a particular fan of chess or devotee, or if somehow you do love chess and play chess, but miraculously have failed to become aware of the London system. The London system is one of a host of universal chess openings where you can play it against whatever your opponent comes up with. So the London system is a sort of way of simplifying the problems of opening preparation, and it kind of works. It reduces the sort of strategic complexities of chess to a easy to remember and implement sort of recipe. And And it's very tempting to go down that road, because it means that from now until eternity as white, you will be faced with a very limited number of positions that you need to solve. But therein lies the problem. The limitations that the London system thrives on are precisely the trap, the temptation of this approach to simplifying your chess problems. Because the truth of the matter is, the chess problems simply, they won't go away. You might postpone them until a little bit later in the game. And the problem I'm thinking about is solving complex strategic questions. And by, in the opening, reducing yourself to this easy to memorize setup, you eliminate the growth that comes with learning to master more complex situations and allowing yourself to face more challenging questions that, classically favoured openings pose. Now, you might be sitting there as a devotee of the London system saying, but Magnus Carlsen plays it. And that's true. Magnus Carlsen has played the London system, as have many other grandmasters. They certainly play it in blitz games, and they certainly play it in rapid chess games, where I suppose there's a desire to surprise your opponent. And they also play it with an enormous amount of subtlety, with dexterity, because they are able to use the London system as a way of luring someone into a position which they can switch into a more standard opening that perhaps doesn't lie in their opponent's repertoire. So I'd like to suggest that when these super grandmasters play the universal chess openings, the sort of solution to that, the club players' amateur woes of how to get a reasonable, sound, safe position out of the opening. They're not playing it for that reason. They're playing it for other, much more cunning reasons, and with a backup possibility of switching midstream. So, as tempting as it is to play these simplified and formulaic, strategic, kind of one-size-fits-all openings, I think it comes with a price. And make no mistake, when the devil offers you something, there is a price attached. If not your soul, it is the price of future chess growth that will result from trying to master more challenging openings. So that is, I think, the most obvious, perhaps, of the temptations that we adult chess improvers face. And in the coming weeks, I'll discuss my suggestions for the next two. That's it for this week. From as you can perhaps hear, not sunny, but from a very wet, rainy corner of Brazil. Trust you're enjoying your chess or whatever else it is that you're doing in a sort of with a mindset of improvement or mastery. Until next week, ciao.